Hi everyone, good morning. Just checking that that's live. Great. Yeah, we did an exercise yesterday that involved some more from my kind of qigong practice, and I obviously wondered what people thought about it. I will get back to the comments today, but today we're going to do something more from Feldenkrais. And it's an exercise that I think is particularly useful if people have any pain or discomfort in their arms, as a way of noticing maybe when we're using too much effort in the things that we do. So there is a version of this lesson, or the main version of this lesson is done in lying down. If you want to do this lying down, it's not a bad idea if you've got space and that's something that's accessible to you right now. I will be giving the instruction in sitting, just because it's easier for me if there are people kind of, but if you tell me in the comments you're going to be doing it lying down, then I can customize a little. The first thing I'd like you to do is, this is the position that I want you to get your hands into. So just interlacing your fingers, and then very gently just rest your hands on your lap somewhere. And take a moment as you rest your hands just to kind of let go of your arms. Let go of any sense of holding or tension in your arms, and just really let your hands rest down on your lap. As you do that, if you can close your eyes at the same time and just begin to bring your attention to the flow of air coming through your nose. And just feel the way that you're breathing now in this moment without really making any effort, without your arms doing anything. Just kind of taking a moment to kind of settle into this little exercise, feeling your position on the chair, your feet on the floor. And then what I'd like you to do is begin to rotate your hands so that you keep them resting on your lap, but you're rotating very small movement. It's kind of like the forearms rotating around each other. So you can see if you open your eyes for a second, I'm just demonstrating the movement. But obviously when your hands are on your lap, it's more like in this position. But you just kind of feel what's right for you and how much of that movement is available. Notice as you do it that, when the hands are in that position, that it's kind of more of a movement of the elbows or the lower arm than it is something to do with the hands. So the hands are just nicely interlaced. And notice kind of what the elbows have to do in order to make the hands rotate. Do they move backwards or forwards? And at the same time as doing it, seeing if you can keep some attention to that flow of air coming through your nose, so that your normal kind of regular process of breathing is not interrupted. Good. And then you can just swap the fingers over, interlace them the non-habitual way. So that's, you can see there, if I do it my habitual way, my right finger is on top, and then non-habitual, left finger is on top. Okay. And just do the same thing in the non-habitual way. Exactly the same process. And notice if there's any differences between your two elbows as you just make this small rotation. If you're lying down in this particular movement, you'll just be having your hands resting on your lower abdomen. Obviously in sitting, it's more on your lap. The key thing is that you're resting your arms. You're not kind of making unnecessary extra effort to lift up the arms. You're doing this rotational movement with the arms really rested nice and gently. Good. Now, what I want you to do is lift up the left elbow, lift up the left elbow. So the left elbow is now away from, or the left arm is away from being rested on the lap. But leave the right arm resting on the lap and just do the same thing. Can you rotate the hands in this position with the left elbow slightly higher than it was, the left forearm away from the lap, and the right hand and the right forearm still on the lap? Again, if you're lying on your back and you're rotating your hands on your stomach, your left elbow will just be lifting very gently in the air. Hi, Simone. Good. And then let your left arm come back down. And just do that movement in the middle again, and notice if anything's changed. Is the range of your rotation changed? Is your ability to kind of keep your arms soft as you do that movement? And even has your breathing changed at all? So just come back to that flow of air coming through your nose. See if you can kind of monitor that kind of steady breathing process at the same time as making this rotation with the hands. And when you're ready, lift your right elbow higher into the air and begin making this rolling movement of the hands or rotating movement of the forearms. Just a few times with the left hand and left forearm now resting on the lap and the right arm more in the air. So that you can see that the elbows have to do something slightly different. They're doing a different movement. As you do this rolling movement, how does that feel up in your shoulders, in your elbows, maybe even your back? Good. Let your right elbow come back down to your lap and just make this rolling movement with your hands resting very comfortably in your lap again and see what's changed. We're going to go through a few different variations. So it might be a little bit speedy, but if you want to go back and do the lesson again and take more time to do each step, that's really not a bad idea. Okay, so when you're ready, what I'd like you to do is lift up both of your hands so that your hands are at the height of your chest. Okay, so both of your elbows are in the air, and just begin to make this rolling movement here. Just do it really slowly. See if you can keep your breathing really soft, really gentle. Notice that in order to roll your hands in this position, you're going to need to use your elbows, maybe even your shoulders. So just feel that movement, feel what's available, feel how comfortable it feels, and see if you can kind of stay within your comfortable range, not making more effort or less effort. Good. Good. Bring your arms down, take a little rest. Just come back to your sense of sitting on the chair, your breathing. Maybe you want to roll your hands on your lap a few times just to feel how that's changed, how that's developing. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to bring your hands up, place the back of your interlaced hands on your chin, Okay, so my hands are interlaced. I'm just placing the back of my interlaced hands on my chin. Difficult, I might miss, so I'm going to do it here. It's better that it's really over the chin, but I'll block my microphone. So I'm going to do it here so that hopefully you can hear me still. And then just begin this rolling movement again here, over the chin, maybe even over the mouth. And take your time, do it slowly, do it really slowly. See if you can do it maybe half the speed that you're doing it. See if you can do it without disturbing your breathing at all. Good. Bring your hands down, take a rest. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to go back over those two little variations because I think it's worth taking a bit more time, and we've got more time. So just looking at the time. So again, just rest your hands, take a little rest. When you're ready, bring your hands back up to your chest, and now see how it's changed, rolling your hands on your chest after rolling your hands on your chin. Is there any change in the ability? Is the range changed? Is the sense of comfort changed? Can you keep breathing at the same time? Good, and then bring your hands down into your lap and just do the same movement we did right at the beginning, rolling the hands in the lap, and just feel how that feels now. What's the range? What's your ability? And how does it compare with what you did earlier? And when you're ready, bring your hands back up to your chin. And just do that same movement again, rolling the hands over the chin and the mouth. Seeing if you can keep your hands really nice and soft. Maybe you could even have a little smile as you do this movement. Just feel that there's a sense of kind of easiness or comfort, or that nothing's disturbing you. Seeing if you can keep breathing with your hands up in the air like this. And do it a few times. Take time with this one. Good. And then bring your arms down and take a rest. And maybe you could feel that in your shoulders, maybe you could feel that in other places of the body, but just as you sit there now, just notice your breathing. Is your breathing any easier? Good. When you're ready, bring your hands back up to chest height, and then move your hands over to the left side so they're kind of hovering over the left shoulder. And then do this movement with the hands kind of hovering in the area of the left shoulder, just in front of the left shoulder. And see again if you can keep your hands really nice and soft, if you can keep your breathing soft. So my hand is just over my left shoulder, which means that my right elbow is maybe a little forward and my left elbow is a little back. Again, if you're lying on the floor at this point, you may feel that your left elbow is on the floor and your right elbow's in the air. Just notice kind of as you make this turning movement in this position, kind of where can you feel the effects of it? Can you feel it all the way into your shoulders, maybe in your neck? Maybe you can even feel a change in your breathing, okay? And then come back to the middle. Take it nice and slowly, coming back to the middle. And then take the hands over to the right, in front of the right shoulder. And just do this movement in front of the right shoulder. So now my right elbow is slightly moving backwards. My left elbow is slightly moving forwards. And I'm just rolling my hands in this position. Nice and easy. See if you can kind of keep that smoothness in your breathing. And then begin to go just from left all the way over to right. Taking the hands from the left shoulder all the way over to the right shoulder. And just see if you can keep the hands really nice and soft. Keep your breathing soft. And just go backwards and forwards a few times. Good. Bring your hands down. Take a little rest. And as you're resting, maybe you want to feel that you can roll your hands on your lap again and just let your arms be really heavy and soft. Just very gently rolling the hands back and forward. See how the elbows accommodate that movement now. Good. Take another little rest. And when you're ready, bring your hands up, place your hands on your forehead. Same thing, exactly the same thing. Fingers are interlaced. And now you're just going to be rolling your hands, the back of your hands, over your forehead. And I have pretty sensitive skin, so hopefully this doesn't leave a weird red mark on my forehead. It's a risk I'm going to have to take. And see if you can keep your breathing soft in this position. Feel that maybe the softness in your hands and the softness in your forearms could transfer down through the arms, and the elbows could become soft. And the shoulders could even become soft. And maybe have that smile again, if you can find that smile in this movement. Because there's part of this that's going to be affecting the neck. And if you can just soften the face, soften your jaw, soften your breathing at the same time, maybe you can feel that those muscles around the shoulders and the neck can kind of begin to be more supple, yeah. Good. And we'll come back to that, but bring your arms down slowly. Take them down slowly. And I've got a little red mark on my head. And just feel how your hands are resting now on your lap. Maybe roll them a few times with no lifting, just really resting down. The arms completely resting on the lap. Good. Feel how your breathing has changed. Take a little rest. And just come back to that flow of air into your nose. Just feel that you can sense that there's a movement of air into your body and then into the kind of apparatus of breathing, so into your chest. And we don't often think that the arms could have such a big effect on our breathing, but they really do. Something about how tight we hold the arms really does affect the ribs. Good. When you're ready, bring your arms back up. Place them on your forehead, very slowly, very gently. Just rolling the hands again. Feeling that you can kind of feel that softness of the hands and the wrists, and the forearms travel down into the bigger parts of the arm. Closer to the torso, joining in with the torso and the shoulder blades. Could you have soft shoulder blades? Is that a thing? Take your time, slow it down. Slow it down to like 50% of what you were doing. You're already concentrating on that flow of air coming into your nose. Good, bring your hands down, have a little rest. We've got a couple more variations to do. When you're ready, bring your hands up. Place your hands on the top of your head. Okay, hands are on the top of the head. They're still interlaced. Maybe the back of the hands are on the top of the head. And just see how much rotation is possible for you on the top of the head. Because the hands are on the top of the head, you can kind of rest them there. There is a sense that there's some release from holding them up in gravity. Before, we've been resting them on the front of the body, and that's different. But now we've got something to actually rest them on. So maybe you can kind of let go of your hands and be resting on your head, and just very gently feel this rotational movement, seeing if you can keep breathing. It doesn't need to be a big movement at this point. It can be really tiny. And I can pretty much guarantee that you're going to be feeling this in your shoulder blades. So see if you can kind of smile, do it softly, do it slowly, keep breathing. Good. And then make sure your fingers are interlaced, and then very gently just lift your hands away from the head and do this rotational movement with the hands away from the head. And then rest them back down and do it with the hands on the head a few times. Good. And then lift them and rotate, and very slowly keep rotating, and bring them all the way down. And take a rest. Let your arms rest on your lap. Feel how you're sitting on the chair. Feel your breathing. Feel how your arms feel now. I called this lesson happy arms. I think it could have very easily been called something else, like comfortable arms or free arms. But there may have been moments in that exercise or those little variations that your arms felt less happy, that there was, some discomfort. But if you do it in such a way that really listens to your sense of comfort, it doesn't rush your process, doesn't kind of ask for more than is available for you, then really that can change from the beginning of a lesson or for the first time you start a variation to the next time you do it. So hopefully you feel that. So what I'd like you to do now is just begin to lift the arms up in the air, keep rotating them and bringing them above the head, keep rotating, and maybe you could even bring them behind the head, and keep rotating and bring them all the way down in front. And just do that movement a few times. Feel your breathing as you do it. Notice which parts of the movement up on top of your head and even behind your head are most difficult. Are there any points where you hold your breath? Or you kind of enact more tension, like your chest gets involved, or there's some shift or change in yourself? Good. One more time. Feel how loose and soft your hands are now as they're doing this movement. Is your breathing free? And then rest your hands down on your lap. And maybe you could kind of let go of the interlacing a little and then just rotate the hands on the lap and just feel how that is now. How does it feel? How does it feel internally, and how much movement is available kind of objectively? Good. And then let go of that. Just let your hands rest. Let your kind of the interlacing fully go, and let your hands just rest on your lap. And just feel how your hands are resting now. Do they feel light and heavy at the same time, which is a really good place to be in the martial arts. There's a I think it's kind of key to martial arts that there's this kind of balance between lightness and heaviness at the same time. So maybe you feel that in your arms now. And just feel how you're breathing. Notice where your attention is. And just kind of compare how you're feeling now at the end of the lesson to how you were feeling at the beginning of the lesson. Is there any change in that? Like mental state, emotional state, physical comfort? What else could there be? Yeah, just like, I think I said them already, but like, what's going in your thoughts, what's going on in your emotions. Good. Something about working with the hands, because it's a very large part of our neural network is devoted to our hands, that as we soften the muscles of our hands or soften the relationship we have with our hands, that can really make a fundamental change to how we're feeling. So hopefully that's palpable for everyone as well. So that was today's lesson. Great. Thanks, Simone. Aliveness as well. Yeah, perfect. That's kind of, that sense of feeling grounded but awake, I think is really, really a nice feeling. So yeah, thank you for watching. I will be back tomorrow. It's Wednesday today. Thursday at 11 UK time. The lesson I have planned for tomorrow is another interesting arm lesson. Kind of maybe following on from the theme that we've been going over the last couple of days, doing some interesting things to kind of, I don't know, affect our body in different ways, affect our states in different ways. So hope to see you tomorrow. Again, if you want to rewatch any videos, they're available in my Facebook group. The description's in the link. The link's in the description. There's also a link to my PayPal account. If you're interested in making a small donation for the lesson, if you felt some benefit, then I always really appreciate that. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.